Hello, I'm Khyrunnisa A, and I'm a writer of children's books mostly. I have written about 9 books now. There are 8 children's books that I have written. I created the character Butterfingers for the children's magazine Tinkle, and then the character was carried over to books, and I have 3 novels and 3 collections of short stories in the Butterfingers series. And I also came out with a book for adults, my first book for grown-ups, and that's titled Tongue-in-Cheek, The Funny Side of Life. But my latest book is The Lizard of Oz and Other Stories. The Lizard of Oz is very special for me because it's a collection of 13 stories, 13 animal stories. I have not written animal stories, or I have written animal stories, but they've never appeared in book form. So for me this is very special because these are stories written from the point of view of animals. And what I like especially about them is that these are small creatures. Some of them are creatures that you consider as a nuisance, as pests. You have mosquitoes as heroes, you have a firefly. Of course firefly is very attractive, but you have a termite who is my hero, a termite that is named Aristotle because he eats books. He doesn't read books, but he eats books, he devours classics. So that's how he's got this name Aristotle. So for me this book is very special. That's a difficult question. It's not difficult to write children's books if you think like children, if you like children, if you know how children behave and how they are, and maybe if you are a child at heart, which I suppose I am all these things maybe. So I never find it very difficult to write for children, and what I feel happy about is that children tell me that they can relate to my stories, which means they are able to understand, or rather I have been able to look at things from their point of view, and they seem to be pleased about that. Plot is what comes first for me, because for me of course the character is also there, but I give a lot of importance to the plot. I have to work out the plot in my head when I think of a story, and once that is done I sit down to write it. So for me plot is very important. Well, my all-time favorite is P.G. Wodehouse. I discovered him when I was in the 8th standard, and to tell you the truth, I still read his books. I enjoy his books. There's always one P.G. Wodehouse on my dining table, and I can open any page and read and enjoy it. Humor is something that comes naturally to me because I have always loved humor books. That's one thing. Then I grew up in a family of 8 children. We are 8 of us, and I am the youngest of 7 girls and 1 boy. And you know how it is. There's a lot of bantering in the house. There's always a lot of back and forthing, and we all love books. And so somehow you could say that I was brought up on humor. There's quite a lot of humor happening at home. Then I like humorous books, and when I talk, somehow it just comes. Funny things come to my head, and I love to play with language because I love language so much. So all these together, plus looking at the absurd in things, whenever I look around me, I look at the absurd. I observe a lot of things, and I find that very often people are so ridiculous, and there's so much to laugh at around us. I mean, you don't laugh at, you laugh with people. I don't want to make fun of people, but when you do talk in a funny way, you're actually it's a very light-hearted way of looking at things. It's not I don't want to be very satirical. My humor is it's humor. You might find wit, there is more of humor, but I don't it's just not humor that is biting. It's not the humor that can hurt people. Message for young readers there's always one message for the young readers: read, 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 and read for fun.